Alright, and as we were discussing in the last video, uh, I said one of the mistakes is, not using practice mode. So now let me give you guys the top 5 labbing tips or top 5, practice mode tips. So first things first is, try every play. You never, this is what a lot of the best labbers in the world do. And, this is what I personally do. I try every single play. I don't just look at a play and be like, oh yeah, there's no way that works. I come out on the play, give it a chance just to kind of see how it works. Again, you never ever know like what could be the play that propels you, or what could be that play that that changes the meta. So make sure to try everything. Don't judge a book by its cover. Now let me give you an example here. So one of the favorite or one of my favorite setups involves this little B flat and the X hitch. And you might be looking at this and it's just like, man, who the hell uses that little X route? I've never seen that X route before. But I was really thinking about it. I was like, man, this route could actually be beneficial. And the reason being is because if someone is really trying to guard the sidelines, something like this, and they're leaving the middle of the field open, that route could actually be beneficial for attacking over the middle of the field. But there, what's it called? The little purple zone got even sucked in by the X. See, and that's something I just learned right there. Shit, I mean, so apparently this little purple, the purple's responsibility is to guard the sidelines, but it got pulled in by this little X route, and honestly, I didn't know that before doing this. So, and again, right there is a reason why you learn so many new things from just trying different plays, and this is how pros come up with these schemes. They're willing to try everything, and they go to practice mode, or they go in practice games, and and try out different tactics, because you never know what you can learn. And the second most important tip for practice mode is definitely having 2 controllers. And the reason why you want 2 controllers is, if you're just playing versus CPU, you're not going to be able to make adjustments. So again, I use 2 controllers because I usually want to lab for specific plays. So again, say that say that a play like this was giving me trouble, and I wanted to be on defense. If I didn't have 2 controllers right now, I wouldn't have been able to make this hot route with my running back, obviously. So it would have. So I wouldn't be able to practice versus exactly what I want. So, but now I can say that. But since I am able to put the running back on a wheel, since I'm using 2 controllers, I can now see that if I did something like this, I could stop this play. So really, that's why you want 2 controllers, is so you can make adjustments on both sides of the ball, and kind of target what's giving you trouble, and then go to practice mode and say, okay, yeah, I can do these adjustments, or I found these adjustments. Also, tip number 3 is you want to practice versus every single base coverage. So, and we'll talk about creating base plays more later. But again, this is a great way to find your base plays. Is if a play can beat cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, match, man blitzes, and that's gonna be our money play or our base play, or one of our most reliable plays. So, and that's kind of how you figure these things out, is kind of just practicing, and either a practice game with your friend or in practice mode. So, say that I'm looking for a base play, and let's just start with a play like this. I can see from, if we start off in just Tampa 2, I can see that oh wow, this play is a touchdown versus cover 2. And again, I'll I'll get more into more detail as to why this is a touchdown versus cover two later. But again, just from trial and error, we can see here that this Y route is going to be open down the middle of the field here. So that could be a really effective play versus cover two. Now, if I run this exact same play versus cover three, I might learn that. It's not the same. Or let me make sure I press out of cover three here, because this play should not be getting open versus cover three. So if you press, do something like this, you might be able to see that it's going to be a lot riskier throw versus, or it's going to be a lot harder to get this play open versus cover three. And let me spy everybody just to give you guys a clean example. So again, same play we call versus cover two. Again, that seam streak is not going to be open. But what we're going to learn from this play is it's going to be easy for that outside third to kind of turn around on our crossing route. So again, we're going to learn that this crossing route is not really effective versus cover three. So this might not be one of our. This probably won't be one of our base plays. Maybe we could put a streak to kind of pull that guy back. But again, what we learned is that this is more of a cover three beater, or I mean a cover two beater, because again versus cover three, this crossing route just runs a little too deep, and the outside third can turn around on it. So again, really the lesson here is practice mode can kind of show you what's open versus every coverage. What plays are good versus cover two, what plays are good versus cover four. And this is a good start. Obviously when you get in a real game versus a human, they're going to be able to make extra adjustments outside of those base coverages. But again, to develop a good foundation, it's good to go into practice mode and see what's good versus each particular coverage. And as we've been touching on a little bit, but lab what gave you trouble in a game. That's really what I use practice mode for. Is man, I was just getting killed by crosses. Oh man, or I don't know how to beat cover two. Go to practice mode, try some plays out. Again, try every play and see what works with cover twos, and then figure out, okay, man, this play works versus cover two. Could it potentially work versus cover three as well? Could it potentially work versus cover four? So that's really what practice mode is there for. Again, it's really to experiment. And also, maybe you're not a practice mode guy. Tip number 5 is, practice, do these exact same things, but practice it versus a friend, practice it versus a human, in an unranked game, because even then, again, obviously your friend's gonna be able to actually adjust in the game, whereas when you're playing the CPU, obviously they can't do too much. So I mean, if you have the two controllers, you might be able to kind of replicate what someone was doing in an actual game versus you. But I always recommend starting in practice mode, and then at the end, practicing it versus a friend who's gonna be able to kind of suggest, oh man, what if they did this? So what if they did that? So I would always recommend at the end practicing what you did in practice mode versus a friend.